I'm Matt, and this is Procrastination Garage. It's Monday morning, about 8:30 a.m., and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into today. So the irrigation water has been turned on for a little over a week, and I've not run a single sprinkler. So let's start by doing that. Well, at least let's try running sprinklers and see what kind of repairs we have to make. All right, there's the pump. Open that valve. Close that valve. Partially close that valve. All the way. Let's open it. 3.5. Put the pump on. Pump running. Ah, that poor tree. That thing used to be beautiful. I should just cut it down and plant something else. Anyway, here's the valves we want to turn on. Why is it open? No. Now it's open. You remember, lefty loosey? Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll turn this one on too. Pond's looking pretty good, right? Had a couple ducks in here the other day. Of course, none of those sprinklers are going to work until we close this valve. Definitely looks like I need to mow down here. Those two sprinklers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Hear a lot of air in the line. We'll go ahead and turn on these two supplemental sprinklers here. Alright, I changed lines. I decided to run this one here. The other one's right on the property line. My neighbor's truck's pretty close. And with the wind blowing, I don't want his truck to get wet. He's going to have to either move it or risk getting it wet in the future though. This line seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Next goal, let's get these two little sprinklers running. Here's what I know. They're pointing the wrong direction. What I mean is they'll be spraying out in the road right now, in the driveway. And also the little filters in those things plug up quickly. So this one will take a little bit of work probably. Probably the best thing to do, open this valve here and clean all the dirt out of the line, because it's that one there that we need to turn on, and that's the line comes up from down there. So if we get all the dirt out up here, then we'll have some cleaner water headed to those sprinkler heads. I hear it. It's coming. Wow, that's way better looking than I thought. Usually it's just running like mud. Wow, they're actually spraying water out. Usually they clog right up. Okay, good. So along this hose down here, I've got a little shut-off valve. They're off. I don't know if you can see it, but on this little sprinkler head here, it has a bunch of little cutout marks, little divots that show which way the water is going to flow. I just need to pull the sprinkler head up by hand, manually rotate it around facing the other way. They'll be good to go. So I'll do that and I'll turn the water back on and show you. Can you tell? It's kind of hard to tell with the light. Spraying pretty good. That one there looks like it needs a little bit of little pry tool right down there in the center. I'll take care of that. It's Monday afternoon, a little after 4. I've been running sprinklers around the yard. I haven't run all the lines yet. Anyway, I'm getting ready to go shut things off. So I was running sprinklers. This is set up, well, that's just one I move around there, but beyond that, front yard and backyards, up close sprinklers, running those for about an hour. I've got a leak in the front yard I need to fix though. So how's it look down there? Yeah, I spent about 2.5, 3 hours getting that all mowed. It's not perfect, but it's way better than it was. Shutting down for the day is about the reverse of turning on. We got to start down here at the pond. Oh, hey look, a couple ducks. Sorry guys. I was hoping they'd nest in here, but I don't know. Pretty active down here. Let's open this one. Running these here. I planted a little pine tree there and one there. I had 3 planted last fall. One died. Those 2 I think are still alive. That one there I'm pretty sure is. That one's a little iffier. I don't know. Let's hope. I'm going to plant some maple trees down here shortly. I need to do some trimming around those apple trees there and that tree over there. I'm not sure what that thing is. So I can get the mower up close to it. Right now it's kind of tough with all the branches. So that's upcoming. Fill pump. Open the overflow valve. And back it off about 4. Close the one at the pump just so water doesn't run through the pump. And open the valve all the way to the neighbor's house. And we're done for today. Hi. So where the video camera is standing right now while I'm videoing this, there was a big boat parked there. And if you come back next week or maybe the week after, you'll be able to see what happened to that big boat. So do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and please tell all your friends. Thanks. It's Tuesday morning just before 8 a.m. and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into today. Actually, what I've got to do is get the oil changed in the tow beast. There's no wind, so we're going to get it parked down there in front of the garage over the gravel, so if I spill anything, it'll be outside and not in my shop. So we just got to move some vehicles around, unhook trailers, and I'll show you when we're ready to change the oil. How's that? Looks like we're getting ready to do something. And the wind's starting to pick up a little bit. Let's get this done quickly. Bear came out to help. Hi, Bear. She's a draining. As soon as that drains out, get the oil filter off. This is a quick job. While waiting, I've pre-filled the filter with oil. And yep, nothing but the good stuff. All the dirty work is done below. Just need to put in 13 quarts of oil. Everything's done up top. I even filled up the windshield washer squirter thing. One last thing we're going to do is I'm not changing fuel filters, but I am going to drain off some fuel, check for water being in it. So I'm going to fill some, put some in this little container here. Just need to open that little yellow valve there, and then the fuel will come out right there, and I'll show you what we get. Fuel looks good to me. I'm not seeing any signs of water. That's good. There's a light inside, or a little message board, if I get water in there and it needs to be drained. I've never had that come on, so we should be good. I have this old Ryobi reciprocating saw, and it quit working years ago. And I was going to look at it and see if I could figure out why. And in the meantime, I bought a new one. And so I was just getting ready to toss this in the trash, thinking, you know what? Just don't waste your time on stupid shit. So I put a battery in it, and it actually was making some noises, and it worked for a little bit. I almost wonder if there's some wood chips or something caught inside of it. So maybe I'll open it up and see. What do you think? It looks like to open it, there's just a whole bunch of Phillips head screws all around here. And I know with these things, you open them up and sometimes they don't go back together the way they're supposed to. So we'll see. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. I've got a new one. But it'd be cool if this one could be working again. I got a bunch of screws out of it. Let's see if I can get it apart now. That actually disassembled really nice. Everything's contained on the one side there. So now let's figure out what's going on with that motor. When I flip this assembly out, you can see we've got some broken pieces right there. So those may be jammed up in there. Maybe if I open it up, they'll come out and it'll work, or who knows. I haven't found any broken pieces in there yet. I've got the motor free, I haven't tried to run it. But this assembly here that causes the reciprocating action, it seems to be turning freely. I mean, I know it's well worn, but again, it seems to be spinning freely. At one point, I was getting something catching where the latch is that holds the blade on. Maybe that was what's going on. Maybe that is what was going on. But let's see if the motor will spin. The issue does seem to be with that motor. It doesn't spin the same all the time, although at least it has been spinning every time. Maybe I'll blow it out with some compressed air and I'll probably put it back together, but bottom line is the thing just kind of wore out, and that's okay. Putting it back together. Before I put this cover back on, I put some lithium grease spray, WD-40 lithium grease spray in there. The motor is definitely hanging up. And it's a no-no, but I sprayed some lithium grease in there. It felt like the magnets were hanging up. So anyway, we'll see if it does anything. I'm just putting it back together, and either it works or it doesn't. And either way, I don't really trust it. So I don't know. We'll see. Just exercise and tearing things apart, I guess. And putting it back together. Got it back together, and it doesn't run very good. And we got a piece left over. Not sure where that came from. It popped out of this side of the cover when I went to put it back. I decided it didn't really matter. Anyway, it's going to the dumpster, but I don't feel guilty about it now, because at least I know that the motor is just wore out. And yeah, you could probably trace a motor down, track down a motor for it, but why bother? These things are disposable. Here we are over at the rental. Need to come over here and get the irrigation up and running. Let me show you what I'm doing. Pulled my styrofoam insulation pellets out of there, and then that cap there needed some thread sealant, screwed that down. Pulled the peanuts out of here for insulation and made sure those valves are closed, and I had 2 wires that had come loose in there. Those wires need to be redone. They're just twisted together by hand, and that's not right, but it works. 2 valves over here in the yard, both have peanuts in them. I get it loose. That valve needs to be closed. This one here, same thing. It's a little tough to get these peanuts out, so I can't film it. See, that was a big bag, and you can't see it way down there. I don't dare drop the phone. I actually need a long extension to reach that one. There's what I use to turn that valve on. That thing is 6 feet. It needs to go all the way down the hole. Then you just kind of got to feel around for it, know where it is. Quarter turn to get it turned on. So I'll do that. I'll turn on slowly, and then this valve here will block the water from going to the irrigation system. That's why it's closed right now. Okay, water's turned on, the pressure's there. So this is where I'll be watching to see some water seeping. It's possible just because there's thread sealant there, and if it doesn't seal completely. Should be no leaks in here. I'll go ahead and start testing sprinklers now. Well, I'm not smarter than this timer. I had to look up the manual online, and I think I've got it worked out. Right now I've got the time set for 1:58 a.m. Timer's supposed to kick on at 2 and run through the cycles. So while I'm working in the backyard, I'll keep an eye on the front and make sure it does what it's supposed to do. I ran through 10 minutes on the first line. It's now switched over to the second line. This will run for 10 minutes. And then the third line. And the backyard's all ready to go. As soon as these shut off for the final time, I'll run those. So these will run a total of 30 minutes, all of them. 10 minutes for 3 sections. Not good news. Got a broken line right there somewhere. There's a sprinkler right here. So I'm gonna have to dig that up and see what's going on. I didn't bring any digging tools with me. Headed home to pick up a shovel and some PVC parts and hopefully everything I need to make the repair. Main thing is to get it dug up and see what I need, but I think that's all 1/2 inch line over there. Maybe it's 3/4 inch. I will take my 1/2, 3/4, 1 inch PVC buckets and hopefully we can cobble something together. Picked up the supplies I needed, plus lunch. Headed back over now. I've got it all dug up. Looked like it'd be an easy repair. You can see the cracked line right there. So basically if I just cut on the other side of that connector, and this is at the end of the line here, so just a matter of routing it. Piece of cake, I should have everything to do that. That's it. That's what we need to replicate. Can we do it? It'd be nice if we had a fitting like this. Then we could reuse this section right there. I'm not sure I do. All put back together. Now let's turn the water on and see if we got any leaks. So far so good. It's not a great spray pattern, but at least it looks to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, I found I have a major leak in the backyard as well. So let's go check that. It was bubbling up right there. So let's dig that area up and see what we find. So that line, I think, runs down there. So that's probably just there's probably a 90-degree turn right there. It might be busted there. I don't know. We'll see. Not good, not good, not good. So that does look to be 1 inch line. I've got 1 inch stuff. So it looked like it blew out right at that 90. You know, we had some really cold temperatures. If there was water in there, that might have froze. But, you know, I blow these out every year, so I don't know. Anyway, the problem is I've got to cut the 90 off right back there. That's going to be tough. And then I've got to figure out if I can either work this pipe this way or in that way a little bit, because it won't be the same dimension that it is now. So I'm going to cut this pipe loose right there and see how much flex I've got in it. You can see I've got it cut off. It's kind of crooked. I don't have a whole lot of meat on the right hand side there, and it's dirty. I'm going to do my best. This may be just temporary. Well, I say temporary. Temporary until it breaks again. There you go. Repair is made. Will it last? I don't know. Haven't even turned it on yet. Just giving it about 20 minutes for the glue to dry, and then we'll go ahead and run it and see. Hopefully there'll be no leaks, and hopefully it won't blow apart. That's the line that had the leak. So far so good. The water that's in there actually came from another sprinkler that I had on briefly. We'll let it run for a while. Well, it's going to run for 10 minutes. No leaks, backfilled. We dodged a bullet this time. Time to head home. About 3 o'clock. So what should have been an hour or less has been about 3.5 hours. Headed home. It's time to prep for tomorrow's adventure. Guess what that is? Did you guess snowmobiling? Yeah, I'm going up one more time. It's actually a rescue mission. A friend of mine, his grandson, had to leave his sled up there on Sunday because he was having trouble. It wasn't running right. So I'm going up to help him. May not need it, but you know what? They always help me when I need help, so I'm certainly going to help them when they need help. It's Wednesday morning, approaching 11 a.m. Just got my hair cut, and I'm now headed to the Anton State Forest to meet up with some friends to recover a snowmobile. You can see mine's in the back of the truck. So let's go. Should be a good day. I mean, look at this weather. It's gorgeous. Temperatures are going to be, I think, up in the 60s here in town. So probably upper 40s, maybe around 50 up in the hills. We'll see. Truck is fueled up, and hey, come on, had to have a Diet Coke. Yeah, and some French fries. All right, headed towards the Tandem right now. Made it to the Tandem State Forest. The gate is open at the lower snow parks, and we're headed up to White's Ridge, and there's a small snow park up there. I understand that's where we're parking, and hopefully there'll be more snow, because if you look around, man, there is nothing down here, is there? Time to bring the UTV up here, although I think this area is still closed for a little bit to wheeled vehicles. Here we are at the snow park. No snow. We rode about a half mile of dirt. The story is, on the previous Sunday, Jeffrey rode his sled down into the big bowl, and he couldn't get back out. It was a very warm day, and the sled wasn't running right, so he ended up leaving it where it was sitting right there. So when we came back to get him, I rode down in there with Jeffrey, and we found a different way to come out, something that wasn't as steep. Plus the temperatures were better, his sled was running better, and he managed to get it out. So the recovery was actually pretty easy, but you just never know. After recovering the sled, we took a break, enjoyed the spectacular views. Here we are looking down into the bowl. I'm not sure you can tell how steep it is, but it's pretty steep. On the way back to the trucks, we stopped off at Eagle's Nest. Great views from here as well. It's Thursday evening around 7 p.m. Been home for, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. You can see we've offloaded my snowmobile, loaded the Bravo in the back, getting ready for the next adventure starting tomorrow. Okay, here's the deal. I went to the cabin on Thursday, and I came back on Saturday. And while I was there, I did do some videoing. The video is gone. I deleted it, apparently. I can't find it anywhere on my phone, and I can't find it on my computer. And since I know what the file names are, I would have been able to find it doing a search. So what did we do while we were down there? Mainly worked on the project in front of the cabin, down in the trees, opening it up, cutting branches up to 8 feet or so, and also cutting some of the smaller trees down. And then I burned all the branches I came across. I also walked the property line and noticed that one of my neighbors is building a fence, and I kind of liked his design, basically using wood scraps from, or tree scraps from his property, and I think I will do the same and hope to get started on that soon. So that's it. I'm sorry, it's all gone. It's Tuesday morning around 10 a.m. and my goal was to mow the rental last Friday, and that didn't get done. And then I was going to mow it yesterday, and that didn't get done. But by golly, it's going to get done today. So we need to get loaded up for that. As you can see, we need to mow around here too. Upcoming this weekend, going camping. So if we don't get to it today, tomorrow we will start prepping for that. Looking forward to it. But let's get stuff unloaded from the white truck from the cabin, which we haven't done yet, and get it configured for mowing. I brought the 2,000 watt Honda generator home from the cabin because it needs an oil change pretty bad. Also, chainsaws in here, we can pull that out. We're taking the motor home this weekend, so we'll be taking the saw with the motor home. And then this mess, get that cleaned up. Truck's unloaded, reloaded for sprinkler repairs, and a weed whack, of course. Now let's get the trailer hooked up and get the mower on it and get ready to go. Loaded up. Bailey's checking out the trailer back there. Anyway, got my dog helper. Let's head over to the rental. I've been over here at the rental for a couple hours. Mowing's done. Got the irrigation water turned on. Now I'm testing sprinklers. So far, most of them are working. Not all of them. That one's working. That one's working. That one right there wasn't. Need to replace it. Haven't tested that one. Got to go all the way down the line here. But every year, same old thing. You just can't buy a good quality sprinkler for what I need to do. Oh well. All the sprinklers are working. Doing pretty good. These sprinklers here are terrible sprinklers. They clog up so easily. It's just a few minutes after 3 p.m. and we're headed home. So we got the lawn mowed and we got all the sprinklers up and running. And actually everything was working better this year than in years past. I only had to replace 3 sprinklers, I think, maybe only 2. So that wasn't so bad. So 4 hours over there is more than I like to spend. You know, I like to limit myself to about 2 hours a week. You know, the whole idea with the rental is not to put a whole lot of effort into it and just let the income be more passive. But a couple times a year you got to put in more hours, and we got some big projects over there coming up. You guys will see that for sure. So let's go home. Next project up is mowing our place, which will probably be tomorrow, and then get ready to go camping. It's Wednesday morning. I'm just turning on irrigation, and look what's down by the pond. Can you see it? I don't want to get any closer. It's a little bunny rabbit. Don't see bunnies around here too often. I always figure they get eaten by the coyotes. Cute little guy. It's Wednesday morning around 11 a.m. and the goal today is to get rid of this little tag-along trailer. Gonna go meet up with my friend in a little while. How you doing, Bear? Anyway, we're also delivering some soda cans for his daughter or his granddaughter. They're doing some kind of fundraiser. Anyway, but that's not what we're doing right now because you can see the trailer's detached. We're getting ready to go for a ride. Well, I didn't mean we as in you and me, Cat. I meant you and me as my favorite YouTube people. All right, let's go. So I bet you're wondering where we're going, right? I'll give you a hint. I was on Facebook Marketplace last night. All right, that's all you get. Well, that didn't take long. Already headed home. I don't know. The guy, he lives in a much nicer place than I do. He's got a gate to get in. That's all right. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon. As you can see, I got rid of the tag-along trailer, so that's good. Oh, so you're wondering if I bought anything off Marketplace? Why, yes, I did. These are some takeoffs from a Honda Talon. They are 28 inches by either 9 or 11 and on 15-inch rims. And my Terex, I'm currently running a 26-inch tire with a black steel wheel, so this should be a nice upgrade. Now, they won't bolt right on. I'm going to need wheel spacers, and I'm not sure they'll clear, but I'm going to be getting some offset A-arms also here pretty soon. So price was $400, way cheaper than anything else I found, and they were only a couple miles from my house, so that was a good deal. So this will be a future Procrastination Garage project. So this is a sun visor in my wife's 2014 Toyota Venza, and here the other day it just started malfunctioning. And I told her, I said, well, we'll have to order a new one. And so she went on YouTube and said, oh, I'll see if there's a way to fix it. Well, I didn't figure there was, and there really isn't. But what we learned was this is a pretty common failure. So it looks like we'll have to replace this bad boy. I mean, look at that thing coming apart. But there is good news. Because it's a common failure point, they're easy to obtain. This one was $25 on Amazon. Came in 2 days. So let's go ahead and swap it out. So I removed the little trim piece. And of course, nothing comes easy. There's a trim piece. It's a Torx bit. Now, what happened to the good old days when you could count on it being a Phillips? All right, time to go get some Torx bits. All right, we're back. Okay, quick. Tell me, what size Torx bit is that? Yeah, it's a T20. I wouldn't have known that. All right, let me go ahead and get it swapped. Out with the old. That's a pretty cool little electrical connection up in there. New visor installed, goes up and down. I still got to put the trim piece back. I did notice that this doesn't quite line up in the center. That's probably the difference between ordering one from Toyota and some aftermarket knockoff. So there's the mirror. That light comes on. Awesome. So I'll put the trim piece back and this will be done. Trim piece installed. Done deal. Okay. Remember, guys, these little projects like this, they make you a hero. Your wife appreciates these things because she doesn't know how to do it herself. She can figure it out, but she doesn't want to have to. So that's why she's got you around. So keep that in mind. Let's move on to something else. That's a wrap on this week's Procrastination Garage. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. So remember, the #1 goal of Procrastination Garage is to keep me motivated, to get me doing projects, whether it's here in the shop, out in the yard, or over at one of the rental properties, and also to go play. So this week we did work in rental properties, and I don't know what else we did. Did we do some work around here? Probably. And we certainly went up and did snowmobiling one last time. So down in the comments, tell me about the things you're procrastinating about. Tell me about things you're working on. I'd like to hear about that as well. So remember, my name is Matt. This is Procrastination Garage, and we should see you next week or real close to it. Thanks.